Hello everyone, Judy Pineda here at JPTV, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 top things to consider if you are thinking about either changing your career in 2023 or looking for a new job. So let's go ahead and jump on in. First thing to note is that nationally, there are still 2 jobs for every person. So what that means for you is you have options, which is a great thing. Now, there's a lot of talk on the news about a possible recession. I want to tell you guys right now, don't let that get into your head. I have been in staffing since 2007 and I have seen a recession. And let me tell you, when you're in staffing, you see a recession coming about 6 months prior, and we have not seen any inclination that now there might be somewhat of a recession, but it's not going to be as deep as what we experienced before. Number 2, since you are going to have many choices, do not take the first offer that comes your way. And the reason I say that is because if you are truly considering a career change, you want to think about the opportunity that you're taking. And if you take the first one, you'll never know if you're missing out on something that's a better fit for you. So my encouragement to you would be, unless you go months and you're not getting any other offers, then I understand, right now people need to work. So don't misinterpret what I'm saying, don't take the job, but consider if you have other interviews pending to still go on those interviews and not just take the first offer that comes your way. And we'll get more into that in the next tip. Third tip, once you decide to interview with a company, do not cancel it if you get another offer. Here's what I'm going to say also about that. If you do that, you don't know if the other interview would have been the better offer for you. And since you have choices, like I mentioned earlier, you want to look at all your options and weigh them. So go to the interview. Even if, I'm going to say this, even if you've accepted another offer and you had an interview scheduled for the next day, don't call them or email them and cancel them saying you got a job. Still go to that interview, even though you've accepted the other offer. And I want you to sit down and look at both offers side by side, because, obviously who knows if the second interview you'll get an offer, but you may, and it may be better. So keep that in mind. You want to look at both and weigh both options to find out which career is the best fit for you. Tip number 4, consider industries that are still going to be recession proof. So with that being said, I've been doing a lot of research because I'm in staffing to figure out what companies still do well under a recession. And what I have found over the last 17 years is, one is healthcare. Healthcare will always be needed. It will always be busy. We just came out of the worst pandemic that any of us have ever seen in our lifetime. And so healthcare will always be busy. Now, am I saying you need to take a career as a nurse or like where you're physically helping patients? No, I'm just saying the healthcare industry in general. So administrative jobs within the healthcare industry, medical billing. If you're considering doing that, I would definitely go to school for that. Medical coding, anything in the medical field will always stay busy. Another industry that is usually recession proof, and especially right now with inflation, would be any type of goods transportation, because the bottom line is even if we're in a recession, we still need to get groceries. And with grocery prices right now being crazy, there's constant moving of those types of products. So any type of industry that moves products that are within necessity, like food, are industries that you would want to consider. And then lastly, the legal field, especially when it comes to any kind of like employment law, personal injury, those fields will always be busy because people will always be suing. That's the bottom line. So those are the 3 industries I recommend looking into if you're deciding to make a career change in 2023. And the final tip for you, tip number 5, is be prepared to sell yourself. I tell my candidates this all the time. If you're a receptionist, make sure that you know what your accomplishments are as a receptionist and you're able to sell that effectively to the employer in the interview. Companies want to know how you've helped them make money, save money, what types of accomplishments you have, because every receptionist answers the phone, does administrative work. But what is that one thing, that intangible that can't be seen on a resume that makes you stand out? So you're going to need to sit down and think about those things before you start looking for a job. What do you have to offer? Because right now It is so hard to find great candidates. So if you come to the table into an interview and you are sharing your accomplishments, you are going to stand out amongst the other candidates that are interviewing for the same job as you. So those are my 5 tips, you guys. I'm going to continue to do videos like this. My next video is going to be all about interviewing, what questions to be prepared to answer, and what questions you should be prepared to ask, and negotiating in the interview and things of that nature. So if you enjoyed this video and you like this type of content, I hope that you will choose to subscribe and come back for my next video. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.
Inside your bedroom